Jennifer woke up early on Monday morning, as she always did, to take out the trash. The cold autumn air hit her as she stepped outside into the dark street. The only light came from the faint moon above and the street lamps that cast long shadows across the pavement. She pulled the trash can out to the curb and heard the distant rumble of a trash truck making its way down the street. As she waited for the truck to arrive, Jennifer noticed something strange lying on the ground next to the trash can. It was a small metallic cylinder with a glowing blue light at one end. She picked it up and examined it closely, feeling its heavy weight in her hand. The object seemed to be made of an unknown metal, and it felt cold to the touch. Just then, the trash truck turned the corner and rumbled down the street towards Jennifer. She looked up to see the massive vehicle approaching, its bright headlights illuminating the dark morning. The driver, a burly man with a thick beard, leaned out of the cab and called out to Jennifer as he approached. "Hey, what's that thing you're holding?" he asked, squinting at the object in her hand. Jennifer held up the cylinder for him to see. "I found it lying on the ground next to the trash can," she replied. The driver shook his head and chuckled. "Looks like some kind of alien technology to me," he said with a grin. "You shouldn't be messing around with that stuff, missy." Jennifer felt a shiver run down her spine as the driver reached out to try and take the object from her hand. She held on to it tightly, feeling a strange energy emanating from it. As she struggled to keep hold of it, the object began to glow even brighter, filling the street with an otherworldly light. Suddenly, Jennifer felt herself being pulled towards the truck. She tried to step back, but her feet seemed rooted to the ground. The driver and his truck were now mere inches away from her, as if drawn by some unseen force. "What's going on?" Jennifer asked, feeling a sense of panic rising up inside her. The driver shook his head, looking just as confused as she was. "I don't know," he replied. "My truck just wants that thing in your hand." As they struggled, the object began to glow even brighter, filling the street with an otherworldly light. Jennifer felt a strange sensation wash over her, like she was being pulled into another dimension. Suddenly, the object vanished from her hand, leaving behind a trail of glittering sparks. The trash truck driver looked at Jennifer in amazement. "What's just happened?" he asked. Jennifer shook her head, still trying to process what had just occurred. "I have no idea," she replied. "But I think my trash day just got a lot more interesting." The driver chuckled and patted her on the shoulder. "Well, at least you won't be bored anymore," he said with a grin. "You never know what kind of strange things might happen when you take out the trash." Jennifer smiled back at him, feeling a sense of wonder and excitement that she had never experienced before. She knew that her ordinary Monday morning routine had just become something much more extraordinary. And as she watched the trash truck drive away, she couldn't help but feel grateful for the strange and mysterious objects that sometimes appeared in her life, even if they did make her trash day a little more interesting. This story is a prime example of how an ordinary task, like taking out the trash, can become something much more extraordinary with the right elements. The object Jennifer found was a mysterious metallic cylinder with a glowing blue light, which seemed to have some kind of otherworldly power. The driver's reaction to it added a touch of humor and lightness to the story, even as the situation became increasingly strange and surreal. Overall, this is a fun and imaginative tale that explores the idea that anything can happen on an ordinary day if you're open to the possibilities. What was Jennifer doing when she found the mysterious object? Jennifer was taking out the trash when she found the object. What did the object look like? The object was a small metallic cylinder with a glowing blue light at one end. How did Jennifer feel when the driver tried to take the object from her hand? Jennifer felt a sense of panic and struggled to keep hold of the object. What happened to the object after it vanished from Jennifer's hand? The object left behind a trail of glittering sparks. How did Jennifer feel after the strange incident? Jennifer felt grateful for the experience and excited by the wonder of the mysterious objects that sometimes appear in her life.